conquista tutto. L'amore conquista tutto.
Hey there, everyone. It's welcome to episode 67 of the Unfiltered and Undiscovered podcast. What a day to be a Queenslander. We're the day after the State of Origin, the very first State of Origin game played in Sydney. And, of course, the Maroons won it. And what a day to have three people sitting in Queensland on the podcast for tonight. As always, welcome to my co-host Braggy, who isn't in Adelaide for the first time. And we welcome our guest, Clara Durbidge, who is sitting there over at North Stradbroke Island, or Minjerribah as we know it here as in the locals. So, Queenslanders.
Curly, how good was that? I can't believe I was all keen, like the last few episodes, telling you I'm coming up to Queensland. I can't wait to get out of that rotten Adelaide winter. I get here, it's freaking freezing. People here, I had to put my socks and my thongs on.
You might get a new nickname, Braggy. You might get the nickname of the Arctic Blast or something, because that's what they're all blaming it on. It's the Arctic Blast.
Oh, well. Look,
yeah, welcome to Queensland,
here.
mate. It will get better. And I'm looking forward to getting up there and seeing you in the last weekend of this month. It'll be good.
That's going to be good.
Hey, a little bit of news and a little bit of personal news. First up, I did an MC gig on Saturday for the wonderful people at Heart Kids Queensland, and we were having a drink afterwards, as you tend to do every now and again, and three guys walked into where we were. We were at Beyond the Pale at Cooperoo there, and they were all wearing Beatles shirts. Like, they took off their jackets and they had Beatles shirts, ain't Sergeant Pepper shirts, and I just thought, this is just a bit whacked. Why would three guys, young guys? Yeah. Anyway, so being me and having a couple of beers under the belt, I had a bit of a chat with them, and hopefully they're listening because I told them about the podcast. But one of the guys is a Beatles fan. It was his birthday, so as part of them going out, they had to, he said, we're all wearing Beatles shirts. So they all had the same thing. So I thought, no, that's a pretty cool story. I said, why Sgt. Pepper's? And he said, because that is the album that they made to share with the world, to tell everyone they were moving away from making music. So I thought,
live music.
Yeah. So I thought, well, that's pretty deep. And I figured you'd appreciate that because
you know what else is a coincidence, Curly?
Yeah.
This is episode 67. Is that right?
Mm.
Well, it came out in 67, Sgt. Pepper's.
Oh, serendipity. It's all happening. The other thing, on the way home, there was a young fella driving the Uber that we were in, and he came from South Sudan, so he was South Sudanese, and he was playing music from the Congo. And, there was a stage in my life where I would have been annoyed that he wasn't playing like the Lime Spiders or the Screaming Tribesmen or something. But it was so cool, and I was asking him about it. Tell me about this music. Where's it from? And he was sharing that it's joyous, it's celebration. He was talking about the war in South Sudan, and it was just such a fascinating conversation. So,
hey, we'll have to do another episode. Remember we did that one, the protest songs, foreign language protest songs. We should do another album and like a world music thing,
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That'd be cool.
That'd be really cool. So, and you should have seen his attitude, like his personality shift. So, being an Uber driver, you must get drunken idiots there all the time. And, and so when I sat down, I started asking about the music. He just put on this, his whole personality suddenly shifted. Like, he knew that I was actually interested in it. And it's tribal, Congo sort of stuff. It was really cool. So,
that's what it does to your music, mate. That's what it does.
And we're going to talk to someone today who shares the gift of music as part of therapy. So I'm really, as soon as we get through the news, Eliza and the Delusionals, their album's out. My daughter's got it. Liner notes, lyrics. It's the whole kit and caboodle. You've got a vinyl record you can put on. You can flip it around. You can read the lyrics as you go. So they've done well. So well done to Eliza and the Delusionals. They got a really good write-up in Rolling Stone Australia magazine, and
Yep.
album of the week on Triple J.
Wow.
That's huge. So
I can't wait to get along to see them when when they come to Adelaide.
Yeah, looking forward
cracker.
to it. And you've got to remind me.
I've got to remind you that Mick Blood
Yeah,
has got his book ready to go.
yeah. He
Tell
got
us
his
about
first.
that, Curly.
Yeah, he got his first shipment of the book, and he's done a thing on his Facebook page, and there
Okay.
he is. You know, the story of the lime spiders from Mick Blood. So, if you've looking at getting a really good story, I'm sure that he remembered all of what he went through and wrote it in the book. So get along to his Facebook page and reach out, because he's excited, and I think there'd be a lot of Lime Spiders fans that are excited as well. So let's talk to our special guest, Clara Durbidge. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you both?
Yeah.
Really, really excited.
So did you just say, Clara, you're on Stratty?
I'm on Stratty,
That's so cool.
and I had fresh Stratty mullet for lunch. And mullet is still one of my most favourite fish, and it's
Yeah?
mullet season. Yeah,
Mullet season.
because a lot of people boo-hoo mullet. They're
Yeah.
like, it's baked.
Yeah, I guess
And-
people say it's a bit of an oily thing, but it's not really, is it? No, it was done right.
Well, there was 5 of us kids, and so my dad always bought everything in bulk. So we'd get cases of mullet, and we would have to scale them and fillet them and everything. And pretty much, I mean, when he did go mackerel fishing, that was also a treat. But yeah, mullet was one of our staples.
Yeah.
Well, I must say, as soon as I get to Queensland, the first thing I do is go and get some fish and chips, like some Spanish mackerel or something, because, Adelaide's got great food and wine, but the fish is just, I won't go for it.
Really?
Yeah, well, they got great oysters, though. I
We
love
do get
oysters, so
spoiled.
I love that. But their fish is like butterfish, and it's not that clean, white reef fish that you get,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Queensland. I love it.
It's interesting, mullet, because I spent 5 years in Townsville, which is where I met Braggy, Clara, and one of the things you mentioned bait, you would not think about eating mullet in North
No.
Queensland, because you've got I suppose you've got a myriad of choices, but it's just seen as a bait fish, and it was interesting when my wife's a Townsville girl, and when we first moved for me it was back to Brizzy. It was really interesting when we'd go to a fish and chip shop and she'd see mullet on the menu and she'd go, "Oh my God, we're not eating bait." So, but it's interesting. Now, Clara, your family's got a really deep connection with Stratty too.
It does. Yep. There's a lot of us that still live here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a big family, Clara, 5 kids, is that right? That you said
Yes.
before?
Yeah.
Everyone musical? Or
Yes, we all can hold a note.
Yep.
Well,
But
most
was
of
mum
us.
and dad musical?
Mum was an old folky.
Okay.
She loves, we grew up listening to Joan Baez, and
Oh, nice.
yeah, she was a just loved all Bob Dylan and everything, and she played guitar.
Yeah.
So we, she wasn't fanatical about it, but it was part of our life.
Yeah.
And I learnt piano. My sister learnt piano for a little bit, and then I don't know what happened. I think I told my piano teacher I didn't want to come anymore, and then I just one day found she was in this guitar club. They used to get around and sing songs and stuff, and I just one time picked up one of her books, and it just had the chord shapes, and I went,
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm just going to give this a go.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just played and I still play 3 chords. I was going to say I just played 3 chords, and I still just played 3 chords. But
you
it
must
was
have-
just
I was going to say, you must have had the love for it, because I know when you start guitar, most people will give it away after
Yeah.
their fingers start to hurt.
Well,
They
that's
won't
true.
persist. Yeah.
And I was like, this is really painful. And someone said, soak them in metho.
Okay.
So that's, I don't know if that's just, I don't even know if that's real. But I remember soaking them in metho. I probably smelled like a closet alcoholic at the age of 13.
I just think if you love it, you'll just bypass that. You just keep going until it doesn't hurt anymore. That's what I think.
Well, you know what it was? It wasn't really about becoming a great guitarist. It was, I finally found something, I think, that I could express what was inside. Because, like listening to old folk songs, a lot of them are like protest songs and ballads and stuff like that. And I think without actually knowing, I had, quite a few stories kicking around inside of me that, or statements or something, and I was like, wow, finally I can play and sing and talk about stuff.
Yeah, well, I guess like some of the earliest forms of music is that storytelling thing. If it was put to music, you and it goes back to all cultures, even our Aboriginal culture here. It goes, that's the way they told stories. And you go to the minstrels, and it's just you and your instrument, and that's it, eh?
Yeah,
it's a special
100%.
thing. Yeah,
it is, and it's weird because I guess I was trying to think back to some of the first songs that I wrote, and they were like politically orientated about the earth or about, I don't know, all sorts of stuff. And that is definitely a flavour that comes through. Sometimes. So probably those songs don't make the cut, actually. They might be a bit radical.
Well, but you have that folky sound. And I want to say surf sound, but you're not really. That's not surf as people would say, like a surf band is. But I can hear that you're near the ocean in your songs.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just from that cover of your album thing too. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Well, yeah, we like my dad grew up here, and like his parents grew up here. And his grandparents, both sets of his grandparents, they didn't grow up here, but they came here at, in their life and stuff. And I think my granddad, like, he was a fisherman, but he used to talk about he actually used to talk about taking the old surf lifesavers wooden ski out to Back Bank at Maine. And surfing wasn't a thing then, but he used to stand up on his ski, and they set up the Surf Lifesavers Club at Stradbroke. And it's just, there's generations and generations. I think I worked out that my grandchildren, because I have 2 grandchildren, they are the 7th generation in our family to live on Stradbroke Island.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's weird, thinking, this is 7th generation of our family that are walking these same little paths around our houses and looking at the same ocean and swimming in the same ocean and responding to it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is no way you've got grandchildren.
What was that?
There's no way you've got grandchildren. You do not look
let's just say
the
light is very kind. The light is very kind today.
Yeah. So Clara, I'm really intrigued because you've the only songs I've really listened to has been Crossing Oceans, which is on Spotify. But you've talked about us a little bit off air in relation to another album that you put out before that. And then you've got music coming that you sort of want to progress with and put out some more stuff. So, and then you're doing the sound healing, which we'll talk about in a sec. But your influences must be like all over the place.
Oh, they're so all over the place. They're I know. I'm not one of those niche people. I definitely would say that. Yeah. It's sometimes good, but it's sometimes people want to have you sound a certain way, so they,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
They want to put you
wouldn't-
in a pocket, in a little...
Exactly. And you know, the biggest person who I think about is Björk.
Bjork,
And
yep.
she's just so vast in
You never know what you're going to get.
100%. And I think that is about staying true to being an artist, I guess, as opposed to... I mean, it's part of the mix, but as opposed to focusing on entertaining. I think.
Well, let's play a little bit of Clara
Yes.
entertaining. So this is a little clip that is available on YouTube, and of course with everyone, we'll have the link in the show notes so you can check this out. This is at an island festival called the Island Vibe Festival.
Yeah.
Do you want to
Yeah.
just share a little bit about what the Island Vibe is?
Oh, it's a fantastic festival. I was trying to think the other day how many years. It could be like 15. It could be more. I can't remember. And I remember I've played at every single one. There's a couple of island artists who have played at every single one. And it was just like coconuts, sea salt, beach music, and just people coming together. And there was a lot of reggae initially in the first ones. There was a lot of reggae. And I remember playing the first one in this, like, you know, that polypipe, like, you know that stuff they make hula hoops out of? What is that stuff? Yeah, and they
The
made
plastic
this, like,
yeah.
yes, they made like this plastic bird cage on the oval at Point Lookout, and that was a stage, like all these hippies just coming together, just getting innovative, and someone must have said, let's turn that huge rabbit hutch into a stage or something. That's what it was like. So you have to crawl in through this little space and play in this thing. And it still is one of my favouriteest memories. I've played in some weird places, like on top of tiny eskies, in caves, on headlands, in the back of a van, which you couldn't even swing a cat in, and a people's birth. I've played at someone's birth as the baby's coming out.
Wow.
I've played it. That was really cool.
That's
but anyway,
a good one.
that was a really good one. But also playing at that first festival in that bird cage was a memorable one. It was, and people dancing out the front, and I just played solo, and it was really magic. Yes.
All right. So, which is, funnily enough, the name of the song. So this is Magic
There you go.
by Clara Durbidge, playing at Island Vibe Festival, I think 2019.
But all you take the souls right off my feet.
So that gives us a bit of a
Oh,
feel
wow.
for Clara Durbidge on stage.
Wouldn't you just love to be there, Curly? It's
Yeah.
just it's such a happy vibe.
It's a happy vibe.
And
It's like, yeah.
and the line, I got the cheeky in my smile. That is great. Is that what the line was?
Yeah, that's
That's great.
such an old song. That was like, that was one of the first that was a really, really old song. And I think it was like, I shouldn't really say this, but I think I had sort of broken up with one of my partners.
Okay.
And I was just like, wow, this is pretty magic, actually. I think I'm feeling a bit of freedom going on here.
Well, it doesn't sound like a breakup song.
No.
Like a sad one, that's for sure.
No, it was completely in the other direction.
And can I just say, look, what surprised me about that song and that performance on stage was you're actually wearing cowboy boots. To me, it's almost like the vibe you should have been barefoot, Clara. So
Yeah.
yeah, so,
Yeah. But, you know, you got to sometimes take any opportunity you can on stage to wear the stuff you're never going to wear in your life. You know what I mean? Like, it's like everyone sees me with no shoes on.
yeah.
And probably just a sarong. And so I was just like, wow, there you go. I'm on stage. I'll wear what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure Curly should be advising on fashion.
No,
Anyway.
no.
That group of musos, you said that's an old clip. Do you still play with those, or are they just a hodgepodge bunch that get together for?
It's so funny, you know. The guy in the lap steel, the slide guitar, sorry,
Yeah.
he has since moved to Stanthorpe,
Okay.
and we don't have a lead guitarist. So yes, we do just sort of recruit from anyone on the island that we can, and it always looks like different. Like, well, for myself, I'm not in so much of a permanent band. It does shape and shift around a little bit, but the bass player and the drummer, we're pretty much. But yeah, no, I've played with heaps of like different configurations over the years. Sometimes, like that drummer who was in that clip, he's in like 3 other bands on the island.
And do you prefer with the band, or do you like solo, or do you like both?
I like both.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I like both. I like the different dynamic you can get with the band.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the magic that when you play with other people, and you can get new ideas. And the thing I like about playing with my, you know, just solo is that I don't have to worry about if I'm going off on a tangent.
Yeah.
And other people are looking at me like, we didn't rehearse that. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
I can just do it. And because I'm so, I'm not a very structured person.
I get that.
Really?
But that's
Of course you would.
no. But that's when I say I didn't get that from you. I get not being structured, because when I play, sometimes I'll just, like the guy I play with, I'll just learn a song myself, and it's just a duo, and I'll just go there and say, mate, this is in A, and this is the chords, and there's probably a change. There's a change as well. But if you got, I'm lucky if you got someone who's with it, and they love that. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's I think one of the most exciting things about playing live is being on that edge sometimes, where you're not sure if you're going to fall off or keep it together.
I'll tell you, there has been many moments of falling off.
Oh, me too.
And because this is a pretty hippie-orientated festival,
Yeah.
I have nearly strangled some of my band players because they go out and party all night
Right.
and then rock up
How
2
unusual.
minutes before we have to get on the stage.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, they look way too relaxed. Let's just say that. Way too relaxed.
All right. So, Clara, there was a stage there where you were trying to get to Nashville. So,
Yes.
and some of your music's described as a little bit country. So, there's a couple of things I'm intrigued about. Your influences for country, and then what was the cause for you to get over to Nashville?
Well, I was studying contemporary music at uni. And part of that was we had to do a project. And my teacher was just like, you know what? You could just dream as big as you want in this. Just go for it. And I just thought, you know, I'll probably never go to uni again. Oh, this was later on in life. I'll probably never go to uni again. And this is an opportunity to make me get structured in my life because I have to be accountable to these assessments. And so we started a project in the second year and we had to complete it in the final year. So for over 2 years, you had to do this project. And I just went one day, you know what? I'm going to go to Nashville and I'm going to hunt down a producer and I'm just a producer and a recording studio and say, this is my uni project and I want to do this. And he goes, yep, go for it. And so I got a overseas study loan through the university, Canberra University. They were really supportive.
Wow.
And that campus was at the TAFE at South Bank, and they were supportive. And and we threw on a fundraiser. Well, it wasn't a fundraiser. It was just like my brother was in Bolter Beer at that, Bolter Beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my brother was in Bolter Beer at that point, and he said, "Well, we'll bring some beer." And my friend said, "I'll cook some." I don't even know what you did. Mexican chicken salsa, tacos or something.
Yeah.
And then it was just going to be that. And then some people were like, you know what? We're just going to get on this vision with you and we want to donate stuff. And people started donating stuff for a raffle before I even knew what was happening. And
Don't you love that?
yeah, that's Straddy. That is Stradbroke for you. Like people just go, get them. It's like that underdog thing. It's
She's
like
got a plan.
She's got a plan. Oh my God, let's get her off the island and let's go send her off. It was like one of those reality shows. It was seriously like one of those reality shows. So we raised the money through and also too, I sold CDs in advance. So I hadn't even made it, but I said, listen, if you want to have a CD in your hand, if you pay for it now, I'll give it to you at the end. Yeah. And so I had that happen.
What a saleswoman.
Well,
that's so good.
It's actually a real big thing. It's on Kickstarter. You've heard of Kickstarter?
Yeah.
Yeah, so artists get on and do this thing, and it's really cool. I'd never heard of it. People go, is it like a GoFundMe? I said, no, there's no GoFundMe. No one's selling the kidneys and my cat's still alive. You know what I mean? Like, usually I'm giving money for people to have their cat revived or something like that. But it was like, no, you actually get something out of this. You get a product. So if you pay for a CD, $20 or $15, you get that. And there was all different tiers. I had to watch all these videos to find out how to do that. And one of the tiers was if you give this much money, I actually write a song and your name's in it to say thank you. And they did. They got a copy of that song.
Cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So anyway, yes, I went to Nashville.
Yep.
I was just hunted down this guy. These Australian people that live in Nashville, and they recorded it. And
just one. How many songs did you do?
Well, on the CD, is there 5? I don't even know. And you know what? I definitely would have done it different if I went back again. Mm-hmm. But I was just, I guess it was just.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah.
That's what it was. And I'm trying to think of the songs that are even on there. I think it's 5 or 6. Yeah. I can't remember. Yeah, so I didn't know anyone. And things just fell into place. Like this Australian girl knew this guy who was, she was married to Robin Hitchcock. You know, Robin Hitchcock?
Robin Hitchcock.
What band was he in the... Anyway, her name's Emma. Anyway.
Okay.
Blah, blah, blah. They were going on tour and I rented their house in Nashville by myself for a month. And I used to just get Ubers. So the Uber driver thing, I met the most amazing Uber drivers in the whole world in America, in Nashville. Yep. I'd never been in an Uber in my life, coming from Stradbroke Island. I didn't even really know what it was. And then I had to catch Ubers there. And I had Uber drivers. One Uber driver was nearly going to sing on my CD because she was like this amazing like gospel singer. I had another Uber driver who was performing faith healings on me as we were driving along. Like,
Wow.
because we're in the South, you know, we're in the South and Jesus is going to get you any way you can, so might as well be in an Uber. And I had, just...
But isn't
Yeah,
that
it was
America?
amazing.
That's the land of dreams. Like the guy in the gas station. I'm only doing this because I'm gonna be a movie star. I'm doing this. I'm going here.
Yeah.
Everyone's, it's a land of dreams.
100%.
Everyone's got a dream.
100%.
Yeah, I love it.
They're all the Uber drivers were 10,000 better singers than me, way more talented than me, and here I am just going, like they just break out singing. They'd break out singing. It was so good.
That is so cool. That's I'm going to Nashville and I'm going to make it happen. So talk us through Crossing Oceans. So it's 5 songs. It's on Spotify. I think it's 5 songs. So what sort of vintage Clara are we looking at here? I think it's 2018 on the date on Spotify.
Yeah, no, I actually made that. I think I made that in 2016.
Yeah.
And then I think I just went, maybe I should put that on Spotify. So I think that was the date when I did that. And sorry, I'm just going to plug my computer in while we're talking. I had a lot of songs that I didn't know what I was going to put on there because, I mean, it's tricky business, like going, what songs am I actually going to do? What are they going to reflect? Are they all going to sit together? And it was a bit of a chuck some songs in there. And I said before I would have done it differently. I would have spent more time. I got so caught up in going to Nashville. The songs were not even important. I was just like, I'm going to Nashville. I'm going to meet every Willie Nelson person in the whole world. I'm going to eat fried chicken. I'm going to do everything. And then I just went, oh my God, what songs are you actually going to even record? Like, I thought I had that sorted. And then I was just like, I was sitting in San Francisco going, I don't want to even play those songs. And then it was hilarious. It's actually very true to me. As I said before, the unstructured isn't just about... It's actually
there's
the
a
process
movie
of
sitting in that
life.
story, Clara. There is a movie. Hollywood needs to pick up that script and run with it. I think it's beautiful. So let's listen to one of those songs. This one's the Way Down South song. And I won't play it all. I think I'll
It's a big story behind this song.
Yeah, which I'm keen to hear about.
Me too.
So let's just put it on and...
Way down south where the wind does blow, I left my one true love. Know this story I've not told.
down and I write little things about it. And all I've done with that one is just put a sad face because it's a fucking sad song, man.
You think the sadness should have been about the breakup one, hey?
That's your eclecticness again.
Yeah. Well,
wow. I love it though. I like the song.
I just wanted to say I was so blessed to have this experience with Mike Flanders, is the producer's name, because he was really connected in Nashville. So he goes, "All right, we'll get some keys on that." And I said, "Oh, who's doing that?" "Oh, Pete Keys." I said, "Who's Pete Keys?" "Oh, he's the key player for Leonard Skinner." "Oh, okay. Well, let's go to his house then." And so I got to go to his house. "Oh, we'll get old mate to play bass." I go, "Oh no, guitar and bass." I said, "Who's he?" "Oh, he's Gillian Welsh's bass player. Used to be Gillian Welsh's bass player." I'm like,
it has a Gillian Welsh feel to it too.
Well, I would just be like on the moon if anything Gillian Welsh came out in it, because I just idolise her. She's one of my all-time favourites. So, in a nutshell, really quickly. Yeah,
it's not going to be
a friend of mine.
Nothing happens quickly on Stratty.
Pardon? No.
Well, it's such a chilled place. It's so relaxed.
It is, but it's still, you still have all the dramas, even probably more, because you can't get off when the dramas explode. You got to stay and face them, and you got to,
yeah,
all of that. But anyway, it was about listening to two older women talking about their experience of when they fell pregnant, and they were very different experiences. And I sort of put them. I really heartfelt. One of them was a friend, and when she fell pregnant back in the 50s,
yep,
she was told she wasn't allowed to keep her child.
Right. Yep.
And anyway, she ended up staying with some nuns, and she did. She raised a child. And the other lady did not have that. And so I really just drew upon their stories, and just I felt the whole thing, like being a mother myself. And I was 18 when I fell pregnant. And feeling how fortunate I was in this age to be able to have way more choices than those women, or many women back in those days. And I just was like, this is what it would have probably panned out like. You go down south, you meet some beautiful boy, you fall in love for a thing, you end up pregnant, and everyone says, guess what? You don't have a choice. Yeah. So yes, you were right in picking up the sadness thing.
Yeah, oh yeah. But and it's got that haunting. It's like in the minor key, I can tell. And it's,
yes.
The thing I pick up with, because I think I explained to you, Bragg is the muso and I'm the punter. That's got a real traditional style feel to it. Like, now I don't know if I'm going to upset you or you'll enjoy this, but I could actually see someone like a Julie Anthony or a, potentially even a Nana Muscuri sort of singing that style of song, because it is just that traditional flow, someone standing on stage with flowing gowns even.
Yes.
So it's very traditional.
Yeah, it's it's definitely a folk song. Folk song feel
and
to
there's
it.
even a mandolin played in that. And and I actually go.
No, you go.
Oh, well, the guy, the producer, Mike, he was like,
yeah,
this is real Celtic, man. This is real Celtic, like Celtic roots, ancestry stuff. And I said, yes, it really is. And because I grew up with my mum and her sisters, and they all used to, play, and like that I would actually, no, you don't insult me at all. That would be one on my bucket list, to get up with like just the hair down, like, what was the name?
Straight long hair.
Mama Cass or something, and just with the flowing things, and just stand like, the female messiah at a folk festival. That would be my dream.
I get what you're saying, Kelly. Now, when you say it like that, I see, I think, like, what would that clip look like? I see, like, it's almost like Irish. You're on the, like you said, Celtic.
It is.
You're on
it's Celtic.
those hills, those green Scottish hills. You got red big flaming red hair, and it's the long dress. You know, it's that.
I think
sort
we're
of feel
past
to
life
it.
travelling. I think we're past life travelling there. This is like the Outlander, and I'm going to touch the stones and woo!
Oh, right.
Hey, but all these songs on this little 5-song album, they've all got a bit of a mother theme to them. I mean, you got Mother Mary.
Yeah.
There's a few
and
songs that got mothers about mothers in there.
I know, and I don't. It's not even and I've written so many other songs about mothering, and I think it was probably because of that thing about being. Well, I was just 19 when I became a mother, and so that has taken up a big whack of my life, actually, and also being a grandparent for the last 5 years, and.
You got to write about what you know.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Pardon?
So you
it's interesting.
About what
I
you
didn't.
know.
Well, it's pretty big when we think about mothering, because there's a lot of there's a lot of things in that. There's like I find myself easy to go in that sort of custodian sort of role, or that wanting to help or look after as well, way too easily. I think about this. I try to not do this all the time, and I'm like, no, give me the baby. Come on, then. Or are you all right? Or, I know, and I try to not do that, but it just flies at me, and okay.
Yeah. So, and you've got hopefully some new music being released, which will be sort of old music, what you talked through, but new music on some of the streaming platforms.
Well, yes.
So,
once
you've worked it out.
Yes.
But just the final piece of the puzzle, I guess, for me is the sound healing. So I'm just going to put this one on, and then I'll trim down the volume so we can talk through it. This is some of the stuff that you've got on YouTube. So for our listeners and our viewers, you'll start to hear some soothing sort of music. So let's talk a little bit about this, Clara. Mm-hmm. So where did this side of you come from?
I don't think I know, or my family know. They're like, where's this coming from? Not me, not my side, not my side. Do you know what? I think it's just from growing up in Stradbroke. I think it's... I personally probably think it's growing up in nature and being close to the earth and wearing bare feet and, spending time in trees and with animals, and you get a real connection with nature, with the elements, and being in the ocean and eating food and from the land and stuff like that. It influences you. And so what I actually did when I did go to uni and do that music Bachelor of Contemporary Music, they offered me to do my honours, and I said, well, I'll have to backtrack. When I first went to America to do the CD in Nashville, I saw that there was a sound healing Institute in San Francisco, and I decided I was going to do an intensive in sound healing in San Francisco. And that just blew my mind. That just blew me out of the water. And I connected with the most amazing people. And then when they said, do you want to do your honours? I said, well, only if I can do it into this, sound healing stuff that I just went and did some study in. They're like, I'm not sure about that. And I said, well, I won't be doing my honours then. And I think they were just so desperate for people to sign up. They said, yeah, okay, whatever this thing is, yes, you can do it. And so I got another student loan, and I went back to back to the college in San Francisco and completed the study. And then I also went on to these like classic, like a retreat, like a voice retreat in with this Brazilian woman up in the Santa Cruz Mountains in the Redwood Forest at a Buddhist center. This is all on the whim. This is just like things lining up and having complete faith. I'm up in the Redwood Forest with these complete bunch of strangers singing Indian ragas and ayahuasca songs. Like it just blew any neural pathway of what I thought I was capable to do music-wise. It was like, no, you just go beyond that. So we did like a lot of meditation, and then I came back and I went to the Blue Mountains. This is all part of my thesis work for my honours. And I went to like this crystal bowl symposium in the Blue Mountains, and I went and studied some shamanism, and I was just on the best trip of my life. It was so good. And I just kept expanding. And yeah, as I said before, I've had some really profound experiences of where I'm playing and the energy. And I realized it was a modality that was growing. It was growing, and people were like, music. Like there was people who can't meditate and don't want to meditate but want to find relaxation or want to find healing and stuff like that. And music speaks to everyone. It doesn't matter where you're from, what you do. Music has its way of igniting something or soothing something or stirring something up or pissing you off. Oh, I'm not allowed to say that. Annoying you. And that's all valid because it's so powerful. It's really, and so what has come from that is just like a deepening into like, I still want to do the Americana, folky country stuff.
Yep.
And I want to do this as well. And it's like, can I do both? Yeah, I do. I reckon I can.
So having gone and up in the Redwood Forest and all that sort of stuff and South America, and when you write this stuff, I'm assuming that wherever you are in nature, it's going to be different because of the different styles of nature that you're around. If you're in the desert, it's different to obviously Stradbroke Island or how do you only write this stuff like the Straddy environment sort of stuff, and do you have to be in that environment to write?
No.
That?
No.
Okay.
It's really, it's not contained to a process that I know.
Okay.
It's not a process of like, this is what I want to write about. No, for me, it's like Clara stands back, and I let flow something unique or something that's not unique that just feels I can trust this. And so it's really weird. And so I sort of go into a little bit of a mesmerized trance, a meditative state myself.
Yeah.
And then it's really weird because notes and my voice, I'm able to access notes and frequencies and ways of singing that I actually can't do when I'm not in that state. Like if
Yeah.
I'm doing,
I guess what I'm
It's a very- yeah.
asking is, if you're in a different environment, are you going to come up with different
Yes.
sounds?
yes,
Yeah.
yes and no. Yes and no.
Similar vibe. Yes and no.
I feel like I'm always responding to the now,
Okay.
the pulse of now. Like when I was doing one of my pieces for my honours, I decided to investigate the music of distant relatives of mine that came up in a DNA test,
Right.
and that was the Sami people, the reindeer people, right up in like the top of Russia and the top of Sweden, like the reindeer, the Lapland people.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're not called the Lapland people anymore. It's more correct to call them Sami, indigenous Sami.
Right.
And I had this most wildest experience of connecting to pretty much my DNA and the music of my DNA in a little concrete box, recording studio in at uni. And it wasn't one bit near nature. I was surrounded by traffic, way away from the Sami people and way away from the island.
Yeah. But in
But
your
I
mind,
was-
though, are you up there in Lapland?
It's not my mind. It's bizarre. And the Sami people, like what I was researching was a form called yoiking.
Okay.
And it's like music shamanism where the Christians went in and they burnt all their frame drums, and because they said these people used to shapeshift, like they wouldn't sing about crow. They would sing crow, they would be crow. They wouldn't sing about the river, they would be river. And so to me, that's the ultimate. That's just like you are so in the zone, so in the flow that you could not be any other thing. You're not thinking. You don't even have a choice. Like I'm getting way out there, but
Hey, look, we love it.
I love out there. Obviously, I love out there.
We just liked all sorts. That's why I'm just trying to get inside this whole thing. So it's hard from the outside, but I love it. I love it. I
So
could talk
yeah,
about it forever, I think.
Oh, me too. Because I don't think we even have, like you look at those ancient cultures, indigenous cultures, and they had it. Their spirituality is based on music, most traditional owners in Australian Aboriginal people, they call it Yidaki up north, like the didgeridoo. And that tone, like they said that transported them into other worlds. So what it does is it entrains the different frequencies, entrain the brain into different wavelengths with different waves. So, we're used to being in like an alpha or something. I always get my alpha delta betas mixed up, but it's the same as when Tibetan monks chant. What they're actually doing is entraining their brain into a different frequency, so they're able to access different states of being. And so these indigenous cultures, that was what they were doing, and that the shamans and stuff, they could go up and receive information from the cosmos or wherever and come back with information that would enable their village and their community and their people to be able to make, find new medicine from different plants that would help, or know how to find the animals to be able to feed their village and stuff like that. And all of that stuff is mostly, it's just been so just simplified and dumbed down to what we are able to access when we talk about music.
Yeah.
We all feel music. That's the whole thing.
It's a
we
sound
all
wave.
feel
It goes in your ear.
Yeah.
It affects we're full of liquid. We're nearly all water.
Yep.
And
That's
so
it.
it creates waves, which creates electrical impulses, which gives all of us such a it's mind blowing.
It certainly is.
I know. So, for example, listen to me just like chattering away 24/7, like. Bah, 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 bah. So I've got some gongs and some tuning forks, which it plays on the body or off the body, and they are the frequencies of different planets in our solar system. So there was a mathematician who was also a musician, and he worked out the formula to be able to, because he was a mathematician, the rotation and speed of the planet times blah, 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 divided by blah, blah, blah. But what he came up with was the actual frequency, and he brought it into an octave that was audible to people to hear, like divided it down until it's in our range, 20 to 20,000. And we are able to hear the frequency of the planets, the moon, everything has a frequency. As you said, Braggy, we're all, water, and we're all vibrating and blah, blah, blah. But that means we're able to use these frequencies that are happening anyway. We just can't hear them because they're too high. But, I mean, look what happens when the moon comes into full moon. Heaps of people start howling and going crazy. That's exactly just your body responding to that. It's just not, you can't hear anything, but your body knows what's going on.
We're just not aware of it consciously.
We're not aware.
Mate. So how do you use this? And I'm conscious of the time. We're just about to click over the hour here, Clara. So so how do you work with people in that sound meditation space with what you do here?
Yeah, I do. I've done quite a few different ways of different things over the time. I used to do this before COVID. It was called Story and Sound, and I used to go around to different kindergartens. It was so cute. Oh my God, so cute. And I would take these big gongs and stuff, and I would make up these stories and use the instruments as the character's voice. And these kids, they were probably like, on the spectrum, naughty as anything. They'd just sit there like they were just dumbfounded because it was, as I said before, music just gets in. Well, you can't escape it.
Yeah, I remember as a kid going to see Peter and the Wolf.
Yeah,
and they always
I remember that.
Same thing. Here comes the little rabbit.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And so I used to do that. I also do. I facilitate sessions now. Like there's some different yoga studios and stuff that I go to, as well as on the island, where we'll just all lay down in like a meditative pose, just laying down and just receive. I also do some work with a couple of autistic children whose parents have hit me up and said, we just want them to engage basically and have interest in, and not just check out after 5 minutes. And I'm just constantly learning. It's absolutely brilliant. I've been to old age homes and done stuff like this, and I've been in festivals doing a particular one, singing up the sun when the sun is rising. And actually that reminds me, I'm going to be part of the Stradbroke Arts Trail on Stradbroke in July, and on the end day, as the sun's rising, I play music.
Yeah.
And one of these times the whales just start jumping in front of it on cue, and it's just like I couldn't even imagine this any better. It's just I think when you are in a good vibrational state in yourself with the right intention, all sorts of healing and magic and goodness comes about.
Excuse me.
Magical. So
that's so cool.
Clara, when you get some when you sort out your Spotify little thing and get some more music on, we'll have to get you back on, because this has been absolutely
that was great,
fascinating. It's been awesome.
I'm so stoked. But can I quickly put a plug in?
Yeah,
go for it.
My cousin Maddie Cale, she is a fabulous country music singer, and she's bringing out an album real soon. Her name's Maddie Cale.
Yep. And
she's something to look out for. You might even end up getting her on the show because she's fantastic.
Cool.
So does it run in the family? Yeah, we do have some sort of stuff. But
awesome.
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure with you guys.
I'm glad you like it. Yeah, we just we don't care what sort of music it is. We just it's music.
Yeah.
Itself.
Now, normally, Clara, what we do is what we call our Undiscovered 7 inches, and I've got one and Braggy's away from home, so he doesn't have one. So, but I'm not going to do it because it would seem completely out of place. Instead, I'm going to wind it down.
Righto.
So, for everyone listening, we'll add Clara's music into the Unfiltered and Undiscovered playlist that we have there on Spotify, so you can check it out. All the links for the sound meditation, the sound, as well as the other things that we've played tonight, will be in the show notes. We'll also include the show notes to Maddie K. In the show notes. We'll put that in the link as well. Don't forget, follow us on Facebook and TikTok. We seem to be stuck at 198 subscribers on YouTube. So please, if there's people listening, just 2 more subscribers to please Braggy. Next week, we've got the Songs That Shape Sydney with Peter Ross.
Cool.
Well, I was calling it the 7 Songs Braggy, but he's given me 8. So,
8's a good number. It's my favourite.
And it looks like we've just lost Clara. So
that's all right. That's Stratty for you.
That's Stratty. So just a word from Billy Joel to finish us off. But you know that when the truth is told, that you can get what you want or you can just get old. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in to the Unfiltered, Undiscovered podcast. Mate, it's been such an amazing conversation today.
Oh, wow.
I hope you've enjoyed it. And see you all next week.
Bye.
Qui sta tutto.